Okay, before we start, one thing anyone who is a detractor of this movie has to at least give me. That final scene is phenomenal. That final sequence is phenomenal. The dance number. You have to give me that. You have to give me that one. Hi, everyone. It's me, Grant, the movie and TV guy. Welcome to Raise Up Popcorn with Grant, everybody. We are talking about movies and TV. So we do here. We're kind of playing catch up because it's been out a while in very select theaters. It is now streaming on Netflix, and that movie is White Noise. White Noise is it is not the Michael Keaton ghost horror film. Something quite different. So White Noise is written for the screen and directed by Noah Baumbach. The great Noah Baumbach, I think. One of the best directors out there. He's, for those who don't know, his previous work includes the likes of The Squid and the Whale, Francis Ha, Greenberg, Mistress America, While We're Young, the Meyerowitz stories, and more recently and more widely known, Marriage Story. So, if you've seen that gif of Adam Driver tearing up, pointing his finger and yelling at Scarlett Johansson, that was Marriage Story. So, this is his latest film, and his first since Marriage Story in 2019. And it's based on a 1985 novel by Don DeLillo? I believe that's how you pronounce his name. And what is White Noise about? Well, a lot of things. A lot of things it's going to have a lot of polarized responses to. But essentially what it's about is Jack Gladney. He is a professor of Hitler studies, the first such professor. Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing, and apparently he's the first to do it. It's 1984. And one of his coworkers is Don Cheadle, who is Professor Murray, and we begin the film with him. Literally, the Netflix logo barely fades out, and we hear his voice discussing the joy of movie car crashes. And we then meet the Gladney family, including Jack, as stated, played by Adam Driver, his fourth wife, Babette, or Baba, she is played by Greta Gerwig, who is actually the real-life wife and occasional screenwriting partner of Noah Baumbach. And is a phenomenal actress in her own right. It's been a minute since she's been in a film, and she's made some good movies, but it's been a minute since she's been in one. As well as their kids. We have that are kind of spread out across their various marriages. One of them is Denise, played by Raffi Cassidy, who I believe in the movie is stated to be Babette's daughter and his stepdaughter. We also have Heinrich and Steffi, who are Adam Driver's two children, played by Sam Nivola and May Nivola, who are the children of Alessandra Nivola and Emily Mortimer, and they're quite good. And then we also have the youngest son they share together, who's, I guess, played by various young child actors, Wilder, who is their shared child. When we begin the story, they're a typical family living in 1984, going to the local supermarket where there's a lot of emphasis on how synthetic and kind of samey everything looks, which is one of the many satirical bullet points of this very academic film. But the plot proper really kicks in when a mysterious event called the Airborne Toxic Event hits. A tanker crashes into a school bus, unleashing or a cloud of toxic radiation into the air. And the family survives, but very shortly thereafter, Babette is acting a little stranger. She seems less perky and more morose, and maybe what she's going through is linked to a mysterious miracle drug named Dialer. Can Jack keep his family together? And why is everyone so afraid of death? And religion, and so full of apocalyptic dread. And these are the many questions they attempt to answer, and more often than not succeed, I think. Many will disagree. Let the very big budget intellectualism begin. So, White Noise, that was a lot, I understand. White Noise is a film that is almost made from the ground up. It almost seems genetically engineered to be a divisive film. to have just as many, much like a lot of baumbach films, to have just as many people praising it and singing its praises as people thinking that it is so far pretentiously up its own ass. I am the former. Similar to how I felt about Bardot and Babylon, I'm just convinced that this director will not make a movie I won't love. Because it hasn't happened yet. His style is just something I immediately latch on to. I don't know what it is, but I loved White Noise. It's one of those movies that it's actually, even among his fans, it's kind of divisive. It's a 63 on Rotten Tomatoes. I loved this. I thought this was really unique and bizarre and weird and just lively and thought-provoking and funny. Are there flaws in it? Sure. But let's, first off, I guess we get this thing. So, screenplay's terrific. I also have to point out, among the already kind of stacked cast, Adam Driver and especially Greta Gerwig are just phenomenal in this movie. Just absolutely terrific. And they're the ones who kind of find that extra oomph to these very deadpan characters. But if there's flaws I could state, and I guess they're minor ones, and there are more going to be flaws for other people than me, but I think I should just warn you all. For those who've seen Marriage Story and don't really know of his more impenetrable stuff, which is very much in that category, the characters and the emotional response to said characters is kind of at a distance in this movie. There is times where it's so intellectual and academic that it does kind of feel like the audience is kept at arm's length. Also, the characters at times, because of that, kind of feel like, especially for the first hour 40 of the movie's 2 hours 17, I should also mention that, feel a little bit like mouthpieces for dialogue, more than they do fully developed people. They feel like ciphers just spouting off the intellectualism sometimes, and that can be a little bit, isolating for the audience. However, even that kind of deepens as the movie goes on into kind of a genuine thoughtfulness, but I really, really thought would rang true about it was the sense of apocalyptic dread that people seem to feel, especially living in a pandemic, which is very much another element that he adds to this. I've never read the book. I do have the book. I've not read it yet. It's on my list. But like death and religion, even the idea that this guy is professor of Hitler studies, which, like, why? But then also the fact that his rival / sort of work friend colleague, played by Cheadle, is sort of focuses a lot of his stuff about Elvis and Elvis's relation to other things. And there's a scene where they kind of have an intellectualism, like, kind of almost verbal dance-off, where they're kind of comparing the two figures in a weird sort of way, but it's stuff like that that's really good. But yeah, it's I think that the themes of it shine past the flaws to the point where, and the dialogue is so good that, guys, I'm sorry that it's not enough for me to not give it this. Yeah, you see it, bang, 5 out of 5 stars for White Noise. 2022 strikes again. We're almost to the end. I can't. This year just keeps giving us gold. I know people are going to disagree with me. They're going to disagree with me. But I love this movie. I thought this movie was phenomenal. It was exactly my sense of humor. It was exactly my type of writing that I love and dialogue. I love this movie. 5 out of 5 stars for White Noise. Okay, that's it. Let's close the book on it. Trailer Trash None. Watch it on Netflix. Was there shawarma? Yes. The entire end credits and after the credits is the ending of the movie. There's a scene that runs through, and then there's the title again. The whole end credit scene is a dance sequence set to a brand new song by LCD Soundsystem, which that's another plus. I love LCD Soundsystem. Worth sticking around for. In fact, even if you have no plans on watching the movie, I suggest you watch at least that sequence because it's so terrific. It's so much fun. So that's it's one of the best single solitary sequences of any film this year. That was a terrific scene. That's it. We will be back later tonight for the documentary Wildcat. We will also have reviews on the horizon tomorrow for This Place Rules, which I believe will be our last movie review for 2022. Not to say that it's the last 2022 movie we'll be reviewing. We still have some carryovers, but that will be the last of the it's on New Year's Eve, so it'll be the last of the new year. We're gonna still do some catch-up reviews though, and we have an early review for A Man Called Otto next week. We'll also have reviews for Mithrigan, as I call it, and more to come, including Missing. That'll all be next time. And until next time, I'm Grant, the movie and TV guy. I see it all. I'm happy to share it with you. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I love you all, class dismissed. I love you 3,000. Be kind to one another. If you like this video, give it a like if you want to. Give it a subscribe if you want to. Give it the bell. I don't know what it does, but that's what you're supposed to do, or so I've been told. Leave a comment, even if it's, say, Grant, I like waffles. It really helps out. If you want to find me elsewhere, reviews, lists, and other fun stuff, you can check me out on letterboxd.com at Raisin Popcorn with Grant. Twitter, I'm at Raisin Grant. You can find me on Facebook, Raisin Popcorn with Grant. You can find me on Serialized. I'm all one word, all lowercase, Raisin Popcorn. Check out my podcast, Raisin Popcorn with Grant, the podcast, on Spotify and Anchor. Some of you already have, but even if you haven't, take care of yourself, take care of your mental health. It's incredibly important, and I want to know down below, what did you think of White Noise? Did you like the movie? Did you hate the movie? Think my opinion's good? Think I'm full of shit? Comment below, let me know. And until we meet again, we're all raised on popcorn. Make my mouth extra butter. Catch you guys next time. Take care.